Welcome all. It's time
T-minus 10,
for,
9,
you know
8,
it.
7,
Come on, folks.
6,
Lift off.
5, 4,
4, 3.
3,
Come on.
2, 1.
We got this.
0. Ignition.
All right. Hold on.
Lift off. Lift off. 30 minutes.
Here we go.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Fun Radio. It's the show with no name.
It's electric. Let's go. That's right, amigos. Welcome to the eclectic show with no name. It's interactive, it's informative, and we do it all with a little bit of fun. Un poco de diversión. You know, I say this a lot, but I'm going to say it again. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Si vale la pena hacerlo, vale la pena hacerlo bien. You know, if you're going to wake up, get out of bed, get dressed, and go do something, why half-ass it? ¿Por qué lo vas a hacer a medio gas? Why? If you go 110%, as we do in the United States, you know that's one of our mottos. Not only will you have fun, but what happens as a result? When you're having fun, time flies, amigos. And as you know, time flies like a 747. No. Like a supersonic Concorde. Welcome to another exciting edition of the show with no name, my amigos. It's an honor and a pleasure to welcome you on board yet again. I hope you're ready to participate. I hope you're nice and warm, because my buddy Fitz has been warming you up for the last hour on his program, No Excuses. And if you haven't tuned into that program yet, well, you have no excuses. There, I said it. All right, amigos, and before we get rocking and rolling, let me remind you of our question of the week.
Question of the week.
That's right, folks. Question of the week. And this week's question is, what is your biggest complaint, your biggest gripe at your current job? Yeah, there are always pros and cons in every situation. Pros and cons. Does that sound familiar? Pros y contras. So a lot of times we ask you to give us, some positive, feel-good stuff. And yeah, we do that a lot. We love that. But sometimes I want to hear a little bit about what you don't like. Because we don't only, in fact, if you think about it, we usually express our opinion when we're dissatisfied, when we dislike something, right? When we're disappointed, todos los disses. And did you know a diss is an insult? Are you dissing me? Are you insulting me? Comes from disrespect. It's a little bit of that hip-hop lingo over there, ladies and gentlemen. But remember, one of the great things about this show is you're going to learn that English that's not in every book. Nope. Well, maybe in mine. Because I'm always scouring the English language. To scour. Let me look that one up. Scour. S-C-O-U-R. Fregar, restregar. No. Registrar, rastrear, explorar, peinar. I'm always scouring the English language to bring you guys That juicy vocabulary, those idiomatic expressions that only a native speaker knows. And the idea behind the question of the week is for you to be able to express yourself verbally in English. And if you participate every week, then you'll get that opportunity. So tell us your biggest complaint, your biggest gripe with your current job, and we'd love to hear from you. Remember, you have until the end of the day every Thursday because the section is on Fridays on the show with no name. So get me a 1-minute voice message before Thursday. Introduce yourself. Tell us your biggest complaint or your biggest gripe. And, of course, if you want to send a shout out to your students, your fellow students, or another teacher, or who knows, maybe your wife, your husband, your significant other, feel free. Just keep it at around a minute. And when I say a minute, I mean ballpark, más o menos. I mean, it can be 50 seconds. It can be a minute and 15. Don't do 3 minutes, because if you do 3 minutes, that tells me that you don't know how to be concise. So, I want you to say a lot with a little. The exact opposite of a politician. Hey, it's true, though. It's absolutely true. All right, folks, are you ready for a challenge? It's time for our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. All right, amigos, welcome to our pop quiz examen sorpresa. And this comes from one of our materials. Usually I get it from one of our materials at the Von Tienda. If you're looking for materials, you can go to vontienda.com. And if you're looking for what's going on as far as courses and programs, ¿quieres estar al tanto de todas nuestras promociones en la Vaughan Esfera? Well, now you can be in the loop. Puedes estar al tanto. Puedes enterarte de ofertas, novedades y eventos. Y mucho más. Puedes encontrar todo eso en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Eso es, en grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. Ahí tendrás toda la información de última hora. Guárdalo como favorito. grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. And stay in the loop. All right, amigos. All right, stay in the loop. Mantente al día. It's grupovon.com/cursos destacados. And you'll see you've got so much, my amigos, so much to choose from summer camps to urban camps to our one-to-one flex, Vaughn Town, Weekend Town. And again, if you're just looking for materials for self-study, you can go on over to our bookshop. It's vontienda.com. And a phone number for those of you who like to call, it's 911-385831. Again, it's 911-385831. All right, my amigos, as always in our pop quiz, I want your undivided attention because I'm going to play some audio for you right now. This is from Speak English B2, just one of the many materials in our collection at the Von Tienda. So pay close attention, and then I'll have a mission for you as always.
47. Vocabulary. Meetings and schedules. Tenemos que programar una reunión para la semana que viene.
We need to schedule a meeting for next week.
Déjame que consulte mi calendario.
Let me check my schedule.
Todavía no hemos puesto una hora para la reunión.
We haven't set a time for the meeting yet.
Tenemos que poner una fecha para la reunión anual de la empresa.
We need to set a date for the annual company meeting.
Iba a ser mañana, pero Mark lo pospuso al miércoles.
It was going to be tomorrow, but Mark postponed it to Wednesday.
Ella normalmente concluye la reunión antes de comer.
She usually wraps up the meeting before lunch.
Estoy muy liado hoy. ¿Podríamos reunirnos mañana?
I have a lot on today. Could we meet tomorrow?
¿Te importaría reunirte mañana? Estoy bastante liada hoy.
Would you mind meeting tomorrow? I have quite a lot on today.
Concluyamos esto y vayámonos a comer.
Let's wrap this up and go for lunch.
Déjame comprobar si tengo reuniones mañana por la mañana.
Let me double check if I have any meetings tomorrow morning.
Estoy disponible a las 5.
I'm available at 5 o'clock.
¿Te importaría reprogramar la reunión? Tengo una agenda apretada hoy.
Would you mind rescheduling the meeting? I have a busy schedule today.
¿Te vendría bien mañana a las 10?
Would tomorrow at 10 o'clock suit you?
Déjame que consulte mi agenda. Sí, eso me vendría bien.
Let me check my diary. Yes, that would suit me.
En realidad, el martes me vendría mejor.
Actually, Tuesday would suit me better.
Es probable que vayan a cancelar la reunión.
It's likely that they're going to call off the meeting.
Es probable que adelanten la reunión a mañana.
It's likely that they'll bring the meeting forward to tomorrow.
No es probable que ella la adelante.
It's not likely that she'll bring it forward.
Es probable que esta tarde pongan una hora para la reunión.
It's likely that they'll set a time for the meeting this afternoon.
No es probable que ella convoque una reunión para la semana que viene.
It's not likely that she'll call a meeting for next week. Test yourself.
¿Podemos reprogramar la reunión para mañana? Hoy estoy muy liado.
Can we reschedule the meeting for tomorrow? I have a lot on today.
¿Te vendría bien el lunes día 2?
Would Monday the 2nd suit you?
Creo que estoy disponible a las 5, pero déjame que lo compruebe.
I think I'm available at 5 o'clock, but let me double check.
Es probable que concluyan la reunión pronto.
It's likely that they'll wrap up the meeting early.
Estoy bastante liado, pero estoy libre a las 3.
I have quite a lot on, but I'm free at 3 p.m.
¿Querías adelantar la reunión?
Did you want to bring the meeting forward?
En realidad, me gustaría posponerla al viernes si eso te viene bien.
Actually, I'd like to postpone it to Friday if that suits you.
48. Vocabulary. Professional skills.
Necesitamos a alguien con la capacidad de trabajar bien bajo presión.
We need someone with the ability to work well under pressure.
¿Tienes la capacidad de trabajar bajo presión?
Do you have the ability to work under pressure?
¿Qué destrezas tienes que sean relevantes para el puesto?
What skills do you have that are relevant to the job?
Una de las habilidades más importantes para el trabajo es la atención al detalle.
One of the most important skills for the job is attention to detail.
Él no sabe trabajar bien en equipo.
He doesn't know how to work well in a team.
Él sabe hacer muchas cosas al mismo tiempo.
He knows how to multitask.
¿Se te da bien trabajar bajo presión?
Are you good at working under pressure?
¿Él tiene los conocimientos necesarios?
Does he have the necessary know-how?
A Hannah se le da genial hacer muchas cosas al mismo tiempo.
Hannah is great at multitasking.
Él aprende rápido y sabe tratar con clientes difíciles.
He's a fast learner and knows how to deal with difficult clients.
Ella tiene una fuerte ética de trabajo y siempre tiene una actitud positiva.
She has a strong work ethic and always has a positive attitude.
Él tiene mucho talento y es una persona muy sociable, pero le falta la atención al detalle.
He's very talented and is a people person, but he lacks attention to detail.
Puede que ella no sea una persona muy sociable, pero consigue terminar las cosas.
She may not be a people person, but she gets things done.
Siempre estoy dispuesto a esforzarme al máximo.
I'm always willing to go the extra mile.
Mi punto fuerte es pensar en ideas creativas.
My strong point is thinking outside the box.
Estamos buscando a alguien que tenga una excelente capacidad de resolver problemas.
We're looking for someone who has excellent problem-solving skills.
Él tiene una gran capacidad de resolver problemas.
He has great problem-solving skills.
Habilidades para la comunicación son clave para cualquier puesto.
Communication skills are key in any role.
¿Qué es lo que la distingue de otros candidatos?
What sets her apart from the other candidates?
Su excelente ética de trabajo la distingue de todos los demás.
Her excellent work ethic sets her apart from everyone else. Test yourself.
Ella no sabe hacer muchas cosas al mismo tiempo.
She doesn't know how to multitask.
Él tiene una fuerte ética de trabajo, pero no aprende rápido.
He has a strong work ethic, but he's not a fast learner.
Sus habilidades para la comunicación lo distinguen de todos los demás.
His communication skills set him apart from everyone else.
Ella siempre se esfuerza al máximo para terminar las cosas.
She always goes the extra mile to get things done.
La atención al detalle es importante, pero tienes que trabajar bien bajo presión.
Attention to detail is important, but you have to work well under pressure.
No a todo el mundo se le da bien resolver problemas.
Not everyone is good at problem solving.
Él trabaja bien en equipo y siempre está pensando en ideas originales.
He works well in a team and is always thinking outside the box.
¿Conoces Weekend Town? La nueva iniciativa de Vaughan.
Pues no.
Es un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. Y es nuevísimo.
A ver, cuéntame más.
Tendrás una inmersión lingüística total durante 2 días. Un total de 24 horas hablando con angloparlantes de todo el mundo.
¡Wow! ¡Qué interesante!
Ganarás confianza y soltura a la hora de comunicarte en inglés. Mejorarás tu comprensión auditiva y tus habilidades conversacionales en una situación de comunicación real en inglés. Ven a Weekend Town y te sorprenderás con todo lo que puede avanzar tu inglés en un fin de semana. Weekend Town de Vaughan. Un fin de semana de inmersión en inglés. All right, folks, more information about Weekend Town, Vaughan Town, summer camps, urban camps. You can get all that information at grupovaughan.com/cursos destacados. All right, well, folks, let's see what we've got over here. I hope you enjoyed that audio. Very good idiomatic expressions in there. That was from Speak English B2. And wow, chock full of amazing vocabulary. Let's see what you guys got from it. I'm going to give you 3 different things that I want from you, and we'll see if you guys were able to get at least 3 key concepts from this audio. The first one I want you to give me, and I want you to use it in your own context. Why not? It's always good to personalize things. And that is another way of saying we're going to finish, right? To finish, to end something. They used a phrasal verb over there. And I've used it many times. In fact, I know I use it often on FYI. And I've used it here many times as well. It's very, very common business speak. And I loved, we looked at it, to be a people person, tener don de gente, to be a problem solver, to be a team player. A word I love is troubleshooting. To troubleshoot is to look for the root of the problem. Let me give you an example. So my internet, for some reason, I can't open a web page. So the first thing I do is check and see if my internet is working on my phone. So then I know if it's a computer thing or it's an internet thing. So troubleshooting is literally trying all the different things. Okay, well, maybe if I unplug this, it's this that's giving it problems. So it's eliminating possible options when there's a problem, right? When you have trouble. That's why we call it troubleshooting. So the first one is terminar, acabar. The second one, and I'm going to give you carte blanche over here. Tell me different ways, or give me one totally native way to say I'm busy. Because busy, okay, it's overused. And please tell me you're not one of these people who says bussy. I've heard people say bussy. It's busy. I know it should be bussy because bus is B-U-S. Yeah, but this is English. Busy. It rhymes with dizzy, mareado, busy, dizzy. All right, but I don't want you to use busy. I want you to give me a synonym for the word busy. And again, as with the first one, I want you to use it in context. All right? preferably a context where you would use it. And the last one, conocimientos. Okay? So knowledge, one way to say it is knowledge, right? But there was another way they said knowledge. And I want you to pay attention to that word too, because that's a word that is very, it's mispronounced very often. And I get it. Why? How do you say saber? No. Entonces, en un mundo lógico sería knowledge. No, because I know a lot of things. But nah. It's not knowledge, it's knowledge. Knowledge. Say it with me. Knowledge. But I want you to give me a synonym for knowledge, and I want you to give it to me in context. So, all three things. The first one is another way of saying to finish, to end something, usually used at the end of a meeting. The second one is a synonym for busy. You can use an idiomatic expression or simply another adjective. And the third one, another way of saying knowledge, which you say conocimientos in Spanish. All right, let's see who's with us in our group chat. Show with no namers around the world. Unite. What's up? Born to Iron Man. He says, morning, friends. What's crack-a-lackin'? Are you kidding me? There's our first totally native. First comment and first totally native. What's crack-a-lackin'? Es como, ¿qué hay, Paraguay? I don't know. It's like a funny way of rhyming it. Wow. Because the expression is what's crackin'? No? ¿Qué te cuentas? ¿Qué se cuece? But you said, what's crack-a-lackin'? You want to know something? Born to Iron Man? I use that one a lot. Great. Did you hear that one from me? Where did you hear that? That is totally native, dude. Let's see, David. David's in the house. Hello, David. He says, good morning, Alberto and mates. Great to have you with us, David. Welcome aboard. Chris Valrol, there she is, our movie queen. She says, morning, dear show with no namers. I hope you have such a beautiful day that you never want it to end. Someone sent me this message today. Oh, that is beautiful. Wow. Very, very beautiful. I hope you have such a beautiful day that you never want it to end. Awesome. Chris, that's a... I'm getting choked up over here. Me estoy emocionando. Chris, don't get me started over here. Wow, beautiful, beautiful words. Laura, she says, good morning, lovely show with no namers. It's a really beautiful message, Chris. Yeah, no doubt. There's Mike Tan. Yeah, Mike Moreno. Hey, he's tan all year round. All right. I promise. I'll cut out the corny jokes. No, I can't. I can't promise you that. He says, what dicen my chulos? Oh my goodness, Mike, this is really Spanglish. How's life treating ya? Y'all rule. You en vez de rules, y'all rule. You guys rule. Wow. How's life treating you? Another. How's life treating you? Yeah, we say that a lot too. Yeah, because I know the first one they teach you is how are you? Or how do you do? And how do you do? I'm going to tell you right now, it's very formal. It's either very formal or you're singing a Roxette song. How do you do the things that you do? I want to know. How do you do? I've never said in my life as a greeting. In fact, how are you? I don't even use that one either. I say, how you doing? ¿Ves como me como el R? How you doing? How you doing? So how's life treating you? What's crack-a-lackin'? Wow. What can I say? Let's see. Mike also says, much obliged, Chris. Much obliged. That's a false friend as well, because it's not obligado. Esta tengo que mirarla en español. I don't know if I know the exact translation here. Obliged. Much obliged. Estar agradecido. Right? So it can be both. He obliged me to do it, right? Or if you say much obliged, it means pues un placer, ¿no? Much obliged. Agradecido. I appreciate it. The way I would say that, because much obliged, it's great. It's a little bit formal, but another way of saying it is, os doy cómo se escribe y luego te digo cómo lo decimos. I appreciate it. Y luego, ¿sabes cómo yo lo diría? Appreciate it. O sea, me como el a. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right, well, folks, I appreciate you. But right now, we've got to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at our answers from our pop quiz. We've also got to listen to our Say What soundbite. We've got spelling bee, homophones, movies, music, and so much more. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Much obliged. I love it. Hey, it's good to be formal. Not all the time. But it's good to know how to be formal if you need to be, right? You can always be more informal, right? That's what I always say. You know, it reminds me of the old expression, it's better to be overdressed than underdressed. Do you catch it? To be overdressed means you're wearing a suit and everybody else is wearing a polo. Now, if everybody's wearing a suit and you're wearing a polo, you're underdressed. You're going to stand out. But they say it's better to stand out being overdressed than underdressed. Again, I'm not as you can see, I'm not a fashion icon. Really? Alberto, we look up to you on matters of fashion. I'm the anti-fashion. Oh, man. I still ask my wife, I'm like, can I wear this with that? And and then a lot of you ask me, why do you wear black and blue and gray? You know, and I said, because I know those colors go together. All right, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to part 2 of today's show with no name. And now it's time for the Say What soundbite. Say what? Yeah. All right, my show with no namers. I see so many people participating right now. So before we even check any answers, awesome, folks. Really, really great job as always. So many people participating, and guess what? Even if you don't get it right, you get to learn something. So, when people say, oh, I don't participate because, I might get it wrong. Well, that's the whole idea, right? If you don't make mistakes, then I guess you wouldn't need to have English classes, right? I make mistakes in Spanish. Now, I don't have classes because I live in a Spanish home, in a Spanish town, in a Spanish city. So it's easy for me to be immersed in your language, and I learn things every day. And truth be told, I even learn things every day in English. Sure, I do. What do you guys think I do for entertainment? I listen to podcasts. And, well, my daughter has hijacked the TV, la tele es suya. So I listen to podcasts and I learn things, not just things about science and aviation and all that jazz, but I also learn, oh, wow, that's an interesting adjective. Maybe I knew it, but I wasn't familiar with it or I hadn't heard it very much. So you can continue to broaden your horizons in your own language. So, folks, let's listen to our Say What soundbite over here. As always, you'll get 4 tries to write down everything you hear. Initially, I just want you to tell me in your best English a synopsis of what you heard. Here it is for the first time.
We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you ever came to me for counsel, for help. I can't remember the last time that you invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. Even though my wife is godmother to your only child. But let's be frank, you never wanted my friendship. And you were afraid to be in my debt.
All right. Now, I think everybody on the planet recognizes, even if you haven't seen this movie in the original version, I think just the whole whispering kind, I think that part, let's get that out of the way. Everybody knows who it is. Now, can you make out? To make out is interpretar, entender, captar. Can you make out what the person is saying? All right, well, let me give it to you again, and then we'll discuss it.
We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you ever came to me for counsel, for help. I can't remember the last time that you invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. Even though my wife is godmother to your only child. But let's be frank, you never wanted my friendship. And you were afraid to be in my debt. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Calling all wise guys, made men, and mobsters alike. We'll unravel a dark, hidden underworld where murder, mayhem, and money laundering are commonplace and par for the course. These Goombas and their goons glorify violence and live by a code of silence. Snitches and rats beware. Forget about it. We'll demystify the mafia on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info.
Inglés.
You got it. So, yeah. It's got something to do with the mob. The mob is another way to say the mafia. If you didn't know that, it means you haven't listened to the mafia episodes of FYI. You can learn all about the mob and mobsters. And also there's another similar episode, which is about the series The Sopranos. And you get to learn all that lingo. Esa jerga, that mob lingo that they use is very common in my area, New York, New Jersey. In that area, there are a lot of Italian Americans. And as you know, New York, we've got the 5 families, the 5 crime families. So sadly, it's commonplace for us, that's the way it works, just like when you live, near the docks, los muelles. Well, when there's a storm, you feel that storm much more. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way the ball bounces. All right. That was your Say What soundbite. Let's take a look. I've got a lot of people participating in our pop quiz over here. The first person to take a stab at it is lovely Laura. And Laura says, We are going to wrap up the meeting now and call it a day. Totally native. So yes, to wrap up, acabar. Envolver también significa envolver. That's a great double trouble there. And that's a silent W. We're going to wrap up the meeting now and call it a day. And when we say let's call it a day, that means vámonos a casa. Se acabó ahí. That's probably as a worker, as somebody who's, tired and wants to go home. When somebody says, let's call it a day, that means, great, we're done. We're done here. So totally native and great. We're going to wrap up the meeting now and call it a day. The second one, synonyms for busy. Laura says, I'm snowed under. Wow. Y fijaos cómo lo he puesto juntos. Snowed under. O sea, la D de snowed realmente se une con under. I'm snowed under. Dilo conmigo. I'm snowed under and I need to put off the meeting we were supposed to have this afternoon. Excellent job, Laura. And the last one, she has the know-how and the skills relevant to the job. And yes. And Laura, excellent job there, because I was a little bit concerned because conocimientos in Spanish lleva una S, ¿no? But in English, know-how nunca lleva S. So excellent job, Laura, knocking it out of the park. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man. He says, let's wrap the meeting up for today. Do you know why? Because I'm on the go with the show with no name. Nice to wrap up. And he says, okay, so to be on the go. Hey, it's another way of saying busy. It means no has parado. Te estás moviendo mucho. I'm on the go. I'm on the move is another way to say it too, right? I haven't sat down all morning. That's another way to say it. No me he sentado en mi mesa. Thought you say something very similar. So I'm snowed under. I'm on the go, right? I haven't stopped all morning. Excellent. And then he says, by the way, needless to say, no hay que decirlo, great expression. How many totally natives have you gotten so far? Holy cow. Needless to say, you don't need special skills to follow the show. And another way to say conocimientos, habilidades is skills. Wonderful. All right. Excellent job. Born to Iron Man and Laura. Mike says, keep it up, Alberto, from an americano to an americano. Well, actually, Mike, I'm an Almericano. Almeria, right? Almericano. Hey, it's not just me who says it. It's La Voz de Almeria. And I guess they know what they're talking about. So awesome, Mike. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being on board with us. There's Lupe. Lupe. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Marvin Gaye. Gotta love that. ¿Qué ocurre? What's crack-a-lackin'? As our buddy Born to Iron Man said. Morning, Lupe. Chris Valrol taking a stab at today's pop quiz. And Chris says, we're not going to wrap up the show yet. Okay, so great, wrapped. To wrap up, great. Then she says, I'm totally swamped with duties this week. I'm totally swamped. Excellent. So I'm snowed under. I'm swamped. I love this one. I've got a lot on my plate. Tengo mucho entre manos. En el plato, we say. I've got a lot on my plate this week. Excellent job, guys. And the last one, in many ways, she's a box of wisdom. Nice. So wisdom, knowledge, know-how, skills. Awesome job. And we looked at snowed under. We looked at swamped. These are all other ways to say busy. Let's see. Lupe. Lupe says, I understand you are swamped by work. Mejor, Lupe, with work. You're swamped with work. but we need to wrap up this job as soon as possible. I'm totally sure you have all the know-how this task requires. Lupe, lovely. Awesome. Awesome job, Lupe. There's Laura participating in our Say What soundbite. She always has some interesting observations to share with us. And Laura says, I heard the raspy voice of a mobster who's talking to someone and recriminating them for not having wanted to be his friend, in spite of the fact that they have known each other for a long time. So a raspy voice. Yeah, another way we say it too, cuando alguien, reminds me of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Jessica's voice. It's breathy. So raspy is like Tina Turner, and breathy is, hay mucha respiración cuando habla, right? So it's almost like a whisper. So great, excellent. Of a mobster, another way of saying a mafioso, a gangster, who's talking to someone and recriminating them for not having wanted to be his friend, in spite of the fact that they've known each other for a long time. Wonderful. There's Leo in the house. What's up, Leo? We are lucky to have you with us today on the show, as we haven't seen you too much, but it seems like you've been able to spend some time with us. Well, either way, welcome back. He says, it is a movie in which an American man with a hoarse voice, another way of saying ronco, is reproaching someone who hasn't come to see him in many years. I won't like to be in his shoes. I wouldn't like to. Mejor no me gustaría. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes because they're going to turn into cement. Great pun. Very punny. Leo, you're a genius. What can I say? He just used an idiomatic expression and then he made it punny, right? Cement. I love it. Leo, on fire as always. You never cease to amaze me, amigo. Let's see, Chris Valrol. She says, I heard an American actor. I don't really know if he's performing or he's being interviewed. He's performing, Chris. The former. So you've got the former and the latter. In this case, the former. He's talking about calling off something, cancelando algo. Or maybe he has a cough. Sorry for my ear. Don't worry. Guys, remember, this person, I've got to tell you something, not one of the easiest people to understand. You know, that's why subtitles exist, because of people like this. And let's see. Mike Moreno says, I just invented a word. Oh, I didn't get where the an was coming from, Mike. I got you. Andalusian American. Andamerica. Gotcha. Now I got you loud and clear. All right, amigos. Well, excellent job to each and every one of you over there. Honestly, what can I say? Impressive. All right, well, right now we've got to move on, though, because it's time for our Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
All right, folks. It's our Spelling Bee here on the show with no name. And we are taking a look at today's Spelling Bee. Today's going to be tough, folks. A lot of words and a lot of vowels. But you know what? I have faith in you guys. I know that somebody's going to get it. And I think somebody's even going to get it in round one. Are you ready? I'm going to fly through it. Let's see what you've got, folks. The first one is, let's start each word with a capital letter, just for the sake of simplicity, because there are many words and letters today. So good luck, my amigos. We'll see if you guys can hack it. And if you can hack it is another way of saying if you can handle it. I know you can. And if not, you've always got a second chance. Here we go. The first one is CHARLES space A period space LINDBERGH. The second one is EAST space AMWELL, comma, space NJ. The third one is BRUNO space RICHARD space HAUPTMAN. The fourth one, ELECTRIC space CHAIR. I'm out of breath. The fifth one, TRIAL space CENTURY. And the last one is KIDNAPPING space ACT. Do you know about Vaughn groups? Well, I'm going to tell you all about them. They are group English classes that you can do via video conference or in person. And the good news is you can start whenever you want. And you can keep the same timetable, teacher, and classmates throughout the whole course. And the best part, there's no strings attached. Sin compromiso. And if you act now, you can get a 5% discount for paying up front. And if you stick with the course for 6 months, you'll get a 50% discount in June. Wow, what a deal! As if you needed more reasons to learn English with Vaughn. Check out our Vaughn groups. Have fun and make friends as you learn English. Sign up now while there are still spots available. Call us 911-385831, or you can go to our website, grupovaughn.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media and find out if Vaughn groups are for you. More information at grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados. All right, going once, going twice. Ooh, I don't think. Wait, hang on. Wait, Born to Iron Man. Ooh, I see a mistake. At first glance, primera vista, I see a mistake in the second one. Okay, so let's go with round 2. The first one is, I'm going to slow down now. CHARLES space A period space LINDBERGH. The second one is EAST space AMWELL, comma, space NJ. The third one is BRUNO space RICHARD space HAUPTMAN. The fourth one is ELECTRIC space CHAIR. The fifth one is TRIAL space CENTURY. And the last one is KIDNAPPING space ACT. Now, I've got somebody here who's taken a stab at it, and I've got to admit something. I got the answer before I started the second round. So technically, if this person, who is Chris Valrol, by the way, if she got them, then she technically got them on the first round. You know why? Because the moment I started spelling CH, right, in the second round, I already saw her comment. But since I didn't want to stop, I wanted to keep going, I didn't read it. But let's take a look now and see if Chris Valrol got it on the first go. Chris, the first one is correct. Chris, the second one is also correct. The third one is also correct. The fourth one is correct. The fifth one, ouch, 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 ow. The fifth one is the doozy over there. Almost, Chris, almost. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man's going at it again. Well, let's see. I'm going to check Laura's first, Born to Iron Man, just because you already went once. Let's see. Okay. I expect you to have them correct now, Born to Iron Man. But let's see if Laura got them. Laura, the first one is correct. The second one is also correct. The third one is correct. The fourth one is correct. The fifth one's correct. And also the sixth one. So, Laura, excellent job. Born to Iron Man. It took you 2 goes, but you got it, man. So great job, Born to Iron Man and Laura. And wow, just a little mistake over there, but we're going to take a look at that mistake after this quick commercial break. Plus, we've got to take a look at Name That Movie, Homophones, Double Trouble, and so much more when we come back. So, if I were you, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. It's time for part 3, or the second half of the show with no name. However you slice it or dice it, we've got a lot of stuff to cover in the next hour. After today's show, you can test your English with Ximena and Nacho. After that, have lunch with Rob and Andy. They're best buds, and you can join them for a bit of banter. Cha-cha-da. After that, you can learn to speak up with Ruby. Then you've got Let's Get Random with Jules Linares, followed by The Salad with Dave Boys. Then you've got Drive Time with Kyle Miller. And don't forget about Frankly Speaking with Chris Frank. Every evening you can prepare a cocktail with this experienced bartender and English teacher. And you can start your day with Richard Vaughn Live, The Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. And right before this show, Fitz, the guy who trained all of us to be teachers. That's right. You can have an hour every day with our teacher trainer, Fitz. On his program, No Excuses. So don't forget to download our free app or tune in wherever you listen to podcasts, amigos. And you can learn on the go, whether you're swamped or snowed under. All right, folks, it's time for another challenge called Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And let's see what we've got over here. A lot of people participating. Let's see. Mike says, in spite of the fact that I'm swamped in the morning, I go the extra mile and I'm having a blast participating today with y'all. All right, glad to hear it. And I love the way you guys, one thing I always applaud is the way you guys support each other. Como os apoyáis uno al otro. That's something money can't buy. So don't ever change, folks. Seriously, don't ever change. All right, let's take a look at our homophones. As always, I'm going to give you two words. A, we'll see if you're familiar with the words. And then B, we'll see if you know how they're pronounced. And you know if they're pronounced the same or not. The first word is confusion. Okay, you say aturdimiento. Confusion. If we use it as a verb, it's to stun somebody. Aturdir. To stun somebody. Okay? Police use a stun gun sometimes in the United States. It gives you an electric charge. So, aturdir a alguien, okay? It can also be deslumbrar. Obviously, it's got that double meaning there as well. All right, that's your first word. And the second word is the plural of the word días. So, if you said, me paso mis días en un aturdimiento o aturdido, with the word días and aturdido o aturdimiento, would those words sound the same in English? And obviously, are you familiar with the words? I imagine you're familiar with the second one. All right, let me also give you, while you're thinking that through, I'm also going to give you your Say What soundbite. This is the third listen. Pay close attention because this one's really tough.
We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you ever came to the council for help. I can't remember the last time that you invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. Even though my wife is godmother to your only child. But let's be frank, you never wanted my friendship. And you were afraid to be in my debt.
Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the shit. That's right, folks. Tons of great materials available at vaughantienda.com. Remember, aside from my 5 books, I was going to say 4, I lost count. I have 5 books now. You've got tons of other great resources. If you'd like to work on phrasal verbs, or maybe you want to work on business English, or just want to review some key structures, we've got you covered. And if you're looking for courses, I would start, especially summer courses, I would do it now. Sign up now, because they fill up very, very quickly, as the summer really is the perfect time to really take your English to the next level. Why? Well, there's a little less pressure. Usually there's less work. Obviously, there are certain industries where there's more work in the summer, tourism, for example. But in general, it's a great time. People have more downtime, más tiempo libre in general. It's a different pace. Days are longer, right? So it's a great time to really, every year to say, okay, every summer I'm going to make sure because every day I practice, but every summer I'm going to make sure I, take a leap, un salto grande, right? We've looked at that word before. All right, let's take a look over here at our homophones. Born to Iron Man gives us the 2 words, and he says, I don't know if they sound alike. Well, the 2 words are correct, so that's okay. Well, we're halfway there, right? Like Bon Jovi said, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. And let's see, Laura says the 2 words are and and I think they sound alike, but I wouldn't bet on it. Oh, so it seems like we've come across a tough one here today. Because when you stump, right, desconcertar, when you stump some of my best students, you are definitely difficult words. But it's weird because that second word is a very common word, right? It's that first one maybe that's throwing people off. So she says, I think so, but I wouldn't bet on it. Well, let's see. Chris says, and I'm going to say they're homophones. All right. So Chris, you know what? Chris says, I'm going to jump in here. I might be wrong, but hey, and also a nice round of applause, folks. It looks like Mike has figured out today's Say what soundbite. Wow. Also, Laura as well. Guys, after the third listen, impressive. Impressive. We'll take a look at the answer to it after, but great job, Mike and Laura. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, well, let's get back to our homophones or not. You want me to just say the words as I always do, and then you tell me? Okay. You tell me which word I just said. Okay, the first one or the second one? Days. Days. Did I say the first one or the second one? Did I say aturdimiento? Or did I say días? Days. Well, you wouldn't know without context. They sound exactly the same. That's right. In fact, a lot of times you can probably even find the hashtag Sundays. Y en vez de escribir days como días, los domingos, es aturdimiento. Porque suena igual. Sundays. Oh, man. You're in a daze. Acuérdate esto. You're in a daze. Eso sería the collocation. You're in a daze on Sundays. So, yes, they sound exactly the same. The first one, days. The second one, days. So, very cool. One of my favorite movies is called Dazed and Confused. It's a Richard Linklater movie. You call it La Juerga de los 70 or something like this. O Aquellos Maravillosos 70, something like that you call it. One of the greatest soundtracks, and it's a great movie and a great song. It's also a song. Any Led Zeppelin fans in the house? I've been dazed and confused for so long, it's not true. When did a woman ever bargain for you? So wonderful job to everybody who nailed it. This Sunday, when you're in a daze, I want you to think of me. And then you can search that hashtag, Sundays. All right. Also, we needed to check our spelling bee, which you guys did a wonderful job on that too. What can I say? All right, so the first one was Charles A. Lindbergh. Now, I left out the junior there. What is that what's going on here? Do we have a short circuit? Oh, no, I know what it is. It's because today, in 1936, Bruno Richard Hauptmann was executed. That's right, he was executed for the kidnapping and murder of Charles August Lindbergh Jr., the infant son of Charles Lindbergh, the American aviator Charles Lindbergh. So the words all had to do with that case. The first word, again, was Charles A. Lindbergh. The second word was East Amwell. And instead of giving you New Jersey, I just gave you NJ. Okay, NJ is like New York is NAY. Well, New Jersey's NJ. That's where they lived. And the third one is Bruno Richard Hauptmann. Now, the guy's name ends with two N's. I only read one. So if you gave me one N, it was right. And if you gave me two N's, it was right because it's how you really spell his name. The fourth word was the electric chair. That's right. The electric chair, which, as you guys know, is still in some states in the United States, they still use the electric chair for capital punishment. The electric chair, they also have lethal injection. That's another way that, killers, usually people who are killers, meet their death. So the electric chair was number 4. Number 5, trial century. I left out the unimportant word of, because if you see the word trial, then you know es un juicio, the trial. Why? Because someone is on trial. Le ponen a juicio. They're on trial. They're being tried for something. So they called it the trial of the century. And As a result, you get number 6, the Kidnapping Act, which I left out the word federal just to make it a little bit easier. And that led to, it led to the Federal Kidnapping Act. And the word kidnapping is secuestro. So excellent job once again, my amigos. And I'm sure, I would bet my life on it that there's a movie about this case. There must be several movies. And speaking of movies, name that movie. All right, folks, it's Name That Movie here on the show with no name, and let's see what we've got. Some really juicy vocabulary over here today, and this is definitely one that we could see in a future Double Trouble, so pay attention. That happens a lot, guys. A lot of times when I see a double meaning, I say, oh, this would be a great Double Trouble. A lot of times when I say that, I write the word down, so that means you should too. Hey, if you want a little clue to a future Double Trouble. So an interior decorator and a Playboy songwriter share a telephone party line and size each other up. Okay? Now that's the phrasal verb that I was excited about over there. To size somebody up is to measure them, to evaluate them. I always think of it as looking somebody up and down, mirándole de cabeza a pie, like, he's sizing you up, ¿no? Mirando, intentando adivinar, estudiarte tu tamaño, si lo piensas, right? It also means to measure somebody for a suit. The tailor was sizing me up for a new suit. Okay, so the word size, I'm sure you know it, tamaño, right? Talla. Well, to size somebody up is the thing, It can be in a way like where you're interested in somebody, or you're sizing them up because you're going to fight each other. Does anybody recognize the movie? An interior decorator and a Playboy songwriter share a telephone party line. Now, these, I don't think maybe they exist now, but back in the day, there were these phone lines, like phone sex, and I remember them. They used to be in the magazines. They'd be like, call if you're horny. You know, these, I don't know if that's still a thing. I'm out of the loop, guys, thankfully. But the what I wanted to get from that is to size each other up, right? Let's see. We've got a winner, folks. Chris Valrol. The movie is called Pillow Talk. And I don't know if you say that in Spanish. Conversación de la cama, no? Sex conversation, pillow talk, we call it, which is different than consultarlo con la almohada, which is to sleep on it. Ooh, anytime you make a big decision, you should sleep on it, right? Consultarlo con la almohada. So yes, it's Pillow Talk. And Chris says, I love this movie. Well, Chris, it's a classic. It came out in 1959, and it stars Rock Hudson. It stars Doris Day. Hey, we looked at days. Well, Doris Day, día, miramos el plural, Doris Day and Tony Randall. So 3 amazing actors from Hollywood's heyday. And let's take a look. We'll take a look at the scene that I've chosen here for you. Alma, yes, her name is Alma. It doesn't say soul. Alma says, well, she doesn't say this. This is the stage direction, las indicaciones. Jans just got off the phone with Brad. Ya se acaba de colgar con Brad. She's laying down the rules, diciendo las pautas, las reglas, laying down the rules for the party line, which Alma's been listening in on to their whole conversation. O sea, a escuchas, a escondidas. Alma hangs up the extension in the kitchen and picks up her morning cocktail. ¿Cómo se nota que no nos 50? I don't go to work without a glass of cold gin. Oh, my Lord. What about a cup of coffee? Yeah, but only if it's got whiskey in it. Oh, my Lord. So he says, he makes pretty good sense. ¿Sabes algo? La verdad es que lo que habla tiene algo de sentido. And Jan says, were you listening again? And she said, yes, ma'am. Ma'am is madam. And Jan says, Alma, have you no shame? ¿No tienes vergüenza? And Alma says, no, ma'am. He's brightened up many a dreary afternoon for me. Él me ha alegrado muchas tardes muy sombrias. Dreary is gris, is, sad. So he has brightened up many dreary afternoons for me. And then Jan says, what did he say that makes such good sense? And Alma, quoting Brad, citando a Brad, says, if there's anything worse than a woman living alone, it's a woman saying she likes it. And Jan says, well, I do like it. Pues de hecho sí que me gusta. And Alma makes a face of disbelief. No se lo cree. She's like, are you serious? And Jan says, I have a good job, a lovely apartment. I go out with very nice men to the best places, the theater, the finest restaurants. And she's exasperated. Okay, exasperated is, right? I don't know how you would translate. Let's vamos a verlo. Exasperated. Exasperada. Ah, okay. Infuriated, frustrated, exasperated. She goes, what am I missing? ¿Qué es lo que me falta? And Alma, chuckling, to chuckle, es como una risita, chuckling says, when you have to ask, cuando tienes que preguntarlo, believe me, you're missing it. Si hay que preguntar, es que lo echas en falta. And then Jan says, what's a good girl supposed to do? Go out on the street and ask the first man she meets to come home with her? And Alma says, no, don't do that, ma'am. And she chuckles to herself. And Alma says, it doesn't work. And then she takes a sip of her morning cocktail. Oh, my God. A sip, un sorbo, a gulp is glub, 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 glub. So very interesting over there. Now, Rock Hudson, as I said, one of Hollywood's leading men, was bound to this film, atado. Like he couldn't get out of it. Because back then, the Hollywood system, the way it worked was you would sign on and you would do 10 movies or 5 movies. You would have to do them, right? That it wasn't, I'll do one with, Universal, then my next one will be with 20th Century Fox. And then, no, you worked for, a production company, a distributor, and you would have to, honor your contract. So Rock Hudson consistently tried to get out of this, nonstop. He said, and this is the irony of life, it was too dirty, right? It was too dirty, and it would harm his masculine image. Now, I will say something. He had a masculine image, but remember this, Rock Hudson was a closeted homosexual. Back then, you couldn't be a homosexual. Even so, if you look at this guy, you'd be like, this is the most masculine guy I've ever seen in my life. He was an actor. He was acting. The reason he finally ended up doing the movie was because of contractual obligations, but also Doris Day talked him in to starring in it. And you know what? Doris Day, she knew what she was talking about. And this subsequently became one of his biggest hits. So there you go. Thanks to his friend Doris Day for talking him into it. Let's see. Chris Valrol says, Confidencias de Medianoche in Spain. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to talk about movies because of the changing titles. Folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we've got Triple Trouble. We've got to listen to our Say What soundbite again. Famous birthdays, music, and so much more. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back. It's time for the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. I hope you guys are having fun. I hope you've learned a lot of vocabulary so far. And most importantly, I hope you put it into practice. And I'm just going to give you another reminder. If you haven't participated in our question of the week yet, do it. Do it today after the show. Tell us your biggest complaint, your biggest gripe about your current job. Again, if you want to change your name or your company name, that's fine. You might even want to disguise your voice. Imagine that your boss, I heard you on Vaughn Radio this morning saying that this job sucks. Let me put it this way. I don't want to get anybody in trouble here. I just want you to learn how to express yourself in English clearly and with confidence. And sometimes, guys, it's just getting over that first hurdle. Ese obstáculo primero. And just breaking down that barrier. Sometimes it's just one little thing that goes click in your head. But it all comes from being exposed to English. So if you're listening to Vaughn Radio, you're on the right track, amigos. Vais por buen camino. Don't forget to stop by grupovaughn.com/cursos destacados for more information about special deals. All right, amigos, let's kick off with our triple trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
All right. Oh, one more interesting thing before we get into triple trouble. And Grace, I think you would like this fun fact about the movie. Not only was Rock Hudson betting against it, but also Ross Hunter. Now, Ross Hunter was the guy who made the film. And after he made the film, he could not find a theater manager that wanted to show his film. And you can't have a blockbuster if nobody goes to see your film, correct? If it's not playing in any theaters, well, it's kind of hard to reach an audience. So, and the reason was because at that time, during the 50s, the movie themes that you saw most often were war films, right? Propaganda, Westerns, and other kinds of big spectacles or period pieces. A period piece is something like Spartacus or something like that, like a historical thing. So he was told by all those big theater chains, I'm sorry, man, people don't want this kind of stuff. We want sophisticated comedies, you know? And they even said, you know, he even heard that Doris Day and Rock Hudson were kind of washed up pasado de su fecha. So nobody believed in the stars. Nobody believed in the movies. And so how did it become a hit? Well, this guy, Ross Hunter, talked. There was a lot of talking into here. Mucho convencer, right? We already said Doris Day talking Rock Hudson into doing it. But also, Ross Hunter talked Saul Schwartz into doing it. And Saul Schwartz was the guy who owned the Palace Theater in New York. He convinced him to book it there for 2 weeks. It had a 2-week run, okay, which is short for a movie. And guess what? It was a smash hit. People were knocking down the doors of the Palace Theater to go see this film that everybody said was going to be a flop, un desastre. And it seemed like the public, the movie goers, they were looking for something different. They wanted a romantic comedy. So the theater owners didn't know what they wanted. The producers didn't know what everybody wanted, because people in the end know what they want, whether they know it or not. And they were starving at that time. It's exactly what they needed at that time. It's just what the doctor ordered, as we say, justo lo que recetó el médico. It was a smash hit, and guess what? Here's the vengeful part, if you will. When all the movie theaters started calling Ross Hunter, saying, "Hey, we'd love to have your movie here at our theater. Sorry, we turned you down and said nobody wants to see it. We were wrong." They had to eat humble pie. Comer tarta humilde, which means comérselas para tragárselas, right? They had to eat humble pie, and they had to get the movie in their theaters on his terms. And he didn't make it easy for them. So it's a good lesson there, about believing in what you're doing and, against all odds, contra todo pronóstico. All right, let's see if you guys can figure out today's triple trouble. Against all odds, contra todo pronóstico. Al fin y al cabo, viene todos los días. Al fin y al cabo, viene todos los días. You have to use the same word 3 times. The good thing is, I think you might know that. I think it's going to be easy, but I don't want to say too much, because sometimes when I say it's easy, it ends up being pretty tough. Today's homophone section was quite tough, I must say. But now you know, days and days sound the same. So, al fin y al cabo, viene todos los días. That's your triple trouble. Also, I'm going to give you your Say What soundbite for the 4th and final time. We said already that Mike and Laura nailed it. Let's see if you can get it as well.
We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you ever came to the council for help. I can't remember the last time that you invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. Even though my wife is godmother to your only child. But let's be frank, you never wanted my friendship. And you were afraid to be in my debt.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughntown, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughntown, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughntown. More information over at grupovon.com/cursos destacados. You can also find out about urban camps, summer camps. Remember, on the weekends, we've got Disney programs for the kids. We've got our Vaughn Scouts. I think the best thing to do is follow us on social media. We're on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn. I mean, I'm not even on LinkedIn, but you can find Vaughn on LinkedIn. They're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and what else? Well, and YouTube, of course. We've got tons of videos on YouTube as well. So make sure you're following. And this way, you won't only get content in your timeline, but you'll also find out about when we've got special deals. I mean, I don't follow many brands on social media, but if there's something I like or I want information about, I follow it. Like, for example, I like camping, and there's a place we like to go camping. Well, I follow them on Instagram because the moment there's a special deal, I'm the first one to know about it because I follow them. So following, things on social media just gives you kind of inside information. And obviously, if it's something where there's a limited supply, like the spots in our summer camps, and remember, we've got weekend camps, you can go for the whole week, you can do day camps, the urban camps. So give us a call or stop by our website and you can get more information. And if you'd like to stop by in person, feel free to do that as well. You can get a free level test. You can even get a sample class. The phone number, 911-385831. Again, you can contact on social media and you can contact us via our website. Donde pone? Contáctanos. There's no wrong way to get in touch with us. Just do it and we can help you out, whether it's just sending you in the right direction. Hey, listen, this is my problem. I'm worried about this. I never get this right. And we can give you at least a free consultation to help you out. And, at least, as I said, lead you in the right direction. All right, amigos, let's take a look at our triple trouble over here. The first person to take a stab at it is Chris Valrol, and she says, at the end of the day, he comes every day. Almost, that's a double trouble, Chris. Not wrong, but you know me, I'm looking for that third one in there. All right, let's see. Laura says, at the end of the day, he comes day in, day out. There it is, folks. Day in, day out. Okay. So day in, day out, which is different than every other day, right? So vamos a mirar estas estructuras. Day in, day out means it's todos los santos días. No falta. You guys are here day in, day out. I tell you that one a lot. And at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to improve your English if you're here day in, day out. So at the end of the day, muy común, al final del día, al fin de cuentas, al fin y al cabo, at the end of the day, he comes day in, day out. Day in, day out. It's also in a, what's the group? Joy Division. They have a song where he goes day in, day out, day in, day out. And sometimes it can be, we talk about the routine. Man, I sit in traffic day in, day out. Todos los santos días. No falto ni una. And how do we say un día sí, otro no? Every other day. So if we wanted to say un mes sí, otro no, every other month. Y si queríamos decir un verano sí y otro no, every other summer. Un viernes no y otro sí, every other Friday. All right, we're talking a lot about days today, maybe because we talked a little bit about Doris Day in our movie. Maybe that's a little clue to your famous birthdays over there, but we talk about all these kind of things we need to talk about, right? Whether it's days of the week, whether it's history, whether it's common expressions. Just one thing I'll remind you, when we're writing days of the week in English, what do, folks? We capitalize them. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They are capitalized along with months. In Spanish, you don't capitalize days and months. I guess it's because you're in a daze. Okay, just wanted to use the homophones. So day in, day out. Oh, so days, months, and of course, also nationalities, which you guys don't do that either. Él es holandés. You would write holandés with a lowercase h. Well, we would write he's Dutch with an uppercase or capital D. And those are, I think, three. I'm trying to think of any others, but I think those are three places where we don't agree. But hey, if you know it, you'll just know. Cuando escribo estos en inglés, los escribo. You know how I know it? Because when I used to write the days of the week in Spanish and the months and people's nationalities, I used to write them with a capital letter. And now I realized in Spanish, you don't do that. So just letting you know, in English, we do that. All right, amigos, it's time to move on, though. It's time for famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays. Birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And as always, we're going to take a look at some people who are celebrating a birthday today. I think you know one of them already. We talked about a movie she was in, Pillow Talk. I mentioned her name. We even looked at some idiomatic expressions and the pronunciation of her last name if it were plural. Or the possessive. Esto es el coche de Doris Díaz. So that one I'm giving you. The first one is an American singer, or was, I should say. She passed in 2019. An American singer and actress. Her real name is not Day. It's Doris Mary Kappelhoff. And she was huge, not just as an actress, but also as a singer. And, some movies that she's been in, Calamity Jane. The first time I saw her in a movie, I remember, was The Man Who Knew Too Much. Have you seen that movie? It's awesome. Alfred Hitchcock directs it, and it stars her and James Stewart. Oh, it's awesome. Also, she was in Pillow Talk with Alfred, not with Alfred Hitchcock, sorry. That would be weird. With Rock Hudson, which she talked him into doing it. And there she was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Actress. And she was awarded the Golden Globe and the Cecil B. DeMille Award for Lifetime Achievement in 1989. In 2004, she was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is one of the highest honors you can get in the United States. And I think forever she will be one of the greatest stars of Hollywood's heyday, del apogeo de Hollywood. And her stage name was Dia. Hey, it had a double alliteration. Alberto Alonso, la, right? Hey, it works. That is something that has a nice ring to it. All right, next up, this guy was born in 1942, and he's an American singer and actor who's still alive, by the way. He hasn't passed yet, so you can do the math. He's no spring chicken. And he was born today in 1942. He was one of the most popular singers in the United States from the mid to the late 20th century, and still one of the best-known acts in Las Vegas. By the way, if you haven't heard it, we've got an FYI episode on this fascinating city. And yes, he has performed in Las Vegas since 1963. He has been a staple, algo esencial de ahí. I mean, this guy, they call him Mr. Las Vegas. They call him the Midnight Idol, el ídolo de medianoche. They call him Mr. Entertainment. And, well, he started, performing in Las Vegas in 1963, when I told you is when he started his residency. But he had been performing before that, and even got the attention of Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley and Bobby Darin. These were three people who mentored him. Imagine having those three mentors. And then in 1963, as I said, he became a headliner at the famous Flamingo Hotel. And that's where his association with Las Vegas began. The WAPO, the Washington Post, describes him as America's #1 nightclub act. And my favorite song of his is probably his most famous one, his signature song. And I'll never forget where I didn't learn the song from him. I learned it from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Todo en un día. Do you remember when they're in the parade at the end and he starts singing, Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön, how you tore your dress, what a mess. Dankeschön, it's German, don't worry. You're like, what? So yes, that's his signature song. He's had many other songs, but that's his signature song. And last but not least, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. Now, this guy has done every role under the sun, but he's very well known as Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire. He was also in On the Waterfront, Mutiny on the Bounty, and then, I think, one of the roles that defined him the most, Vito Corleone in The Godfather. And this is where he won his second Academy Award. He was also in Last Tango in Paris. He played Jor-El in Superman, the 1978 one. Apocalypse Now, where he played Colonel Kurtz. And I think he's one of the most respected actors over there. So let's see over here. Chris Valrol. She says, happy birthday to Doris Day, Wayne Newton, and Marlon Brando. Yes, yes, yes. And Chris has a little fun fact for us. She says, did you know Doris and Marlon were born the same year? But he died 14 years before. Well, they say that ladies live longer, so awesome. I didn't know that, Chris. Fun fact. All right, let's see. So if you haven't figured it out, today's Say What soundbite was Marlon Brando as Vito Corleone. And he's saying, we've known each other for many years. Nos hemos conocido durante muchos años. We've known each other for many years. But this is the first time you come to ask me for counsel. Okay, counsel is advice, right? Or for help. I can't remember the last time you invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. No me acuerdo la última vez que me invitaste a tu casa por un café. Even though my wife is godmother to your only child. Aunque mi mujer es madrina a tu hijo único. But let's be frank here. Seamos francos. You've never wanted my friendship. Nunca has querido mi amistad. You were afraid to be in my debt. Endeudado conmigo. All right, so here he is, the one and only Marlon Brando.
We've known each other many years, but this is the first time he ever came to counsel for help. I can't remember the last time that he invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. Even though my wife is godmother to your only child. But let's be frank, you never wanted my friendship. And you were afraid to be in my debt.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric. Name a lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. Name a lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. It's name a lyric only on the show with no name.
Excellent job, amigos. Hats off. Kudos, as you guys are saying. Great. You sound like natives. Hats off to all of you. Kudos and thank you. Obrigado. Gracias. Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön. That's today's Name That Lyric, and I'm going to dedicate it to you guys. Thank you. It doesn't matter what language you put it in. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here every day, for learning, for laughing with me and following me in my madness, mis locuras. And folks, Dankeschön. Hey, who said we couldn't learn from music? We do it every day in this section. And I'm sure you guys do it on your own time. So, Dankeschön, darling, cariño, Dankeschön. Thank you for all the joy and pain. Gracias por toda la alegría y el dolor. Picture shows, second balcony. Picture shows es antes como decían el cine. Second balcony, ahí en el segundo anfitrión, right? Was the place we'd meet, el sitio donde quedábamos. Second seat, segundo asiento. And it is a great song from a great movie, by the way. I can't hear this song and not think of Matthew Broderick in Ferris Bueller's Day Off when he's on the float in the parade. Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön. I want you guys to sing it with me. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Come on. Woo! Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön.